I will first open a sample project attached to the program. In the top menu, select File, select Open. I point to the ECHAL file and click Open. A structure model has appeared in the program workspace. Using this model, I will discuss the basic settings of the program. The center part of the program window is the so-called program workspace. In the work area of the program, we define and modify the geometry of the design structure. In this area, we distribute the loads. In this part, we also display the results of the static calculations and the results of the standard verification. On the right side, we have a panel that contains 4 tabs: Geometry, Loads, Results, Design and Verification. These tabs are arranged in a logical order. The order of the arranging of the tabs corresponds to the subsequent stages of designing a structure in the program. Different elements of the calculation model appear in the workspace of the program, depending on the selected tab on the panel on the right. When we have the Geometry tab active in the work area of the program, we can see the bars of the structure and the symbol supports. When we go to the Loads tab, load symbols will additionally appear in the program workspace. We see the load symbols, but we don't see the load values. When we go to the Results tab, in the working area, graphs of internal forces will appear on the bars of the structure. When we go to the Design and Verification tab, on the bars of the structure, we'll see labels with information about the strengths of the elements in the working area of the program. In the program settings, we can, for example, specify what elements should be displayed in the program workspace depending on the currently selected tab. I select Tools and click Settings. In the Settings window, in the Layout Visualization section, I can specify what additional elements should be displaying depending on the type of view. In the Geometry column, I specify which elements should appear in the workspace when the Geometry tab is active. In the Loads column, I specify what elements should appear in the program workspace when the Loads tab is active. In the Results column, I specify what elements should appear in the program workspace when the Results tab is active. In the Design and Verification column, I specify what elements should appear in the program workspace when the Design and Verification tab is active. In the 3D column, I specify what elements should appear when I start the detailed preview window of the 3D view. In the Static Report column, I specify what elements should appear in the generated document after clicking Report on Statics command. I will now change several settings. I choose Show Profile Names when the Geometry tab is activated. I will choose to show Load Values when the Load tab is activated. I will choose to show node numbers when the Results tab is activated. And I will choose to hide supports when the Design and Verification tab is activated. I approve the changes to the settings by clicking OK. Now I will check the changes. I currently have the Geometry tab active. I see that the information with the name of the profile appeared on the bars. I click the left mouse button on the name of the Loads tab. The bookmark has been activated. Now I see that the load value is also displayed next to the load symbols. Information about the bar profiles has disappeared because this information is supposed to be displayed when we have the Geometry tab active. I go to the Results tab. We can see that now there's information about the node numbers. I go to the Design and Verification tab. We can see that according to the settings, the symbols of the supports have been hidden. So we have checked the change to the program settings. I return to the Settings window, I select File, click the left mouse button on the Settings command. In the Settings window, in the Color section, we specify the colors of the elements depending on the type of view. In the View column, I specify the colors of the items in the work area. In the 3D column, I specify the colors of the elements in the detailed preview window of the 3D view. In the Report column, I specify the colors of the items in the reports generated from the program. For example, I will change the color of the bar and the color of the node in the Screen column. After changing the colors of the selected elements, I click OK. We can see that in the workspace of the program, bars and nodes have new colors. I'll return to the Settings window, select Tools and Settings. In the Settings window, for example, I can specify the value of the autosave time. By default, the program performs an autosave every 20 minutes. I will change the autosave value to 15 minutes. In the Settings window, I will activate prompts for element indication. If you enable this option, a label appears in the object's workspace when you hover over an object. I click OK and check the operation of this option. I point the mouse cursor to the bar. A label appears with basic information about the bar. I will point the mouse cursor to the node. A label with basic information about the node has appeared. I go to the Loads tab and point the mouse cursor to the load. A label appeared with basic information about the load. I'll go back to the settings and turn off the prompts. I uncheck the Activate Context Prompts for the Element Indication option. I will uncheck the prompts if they have been disabled. I close the Settings window. I move the mouse cursor over the object. Prompts do not appear. We return to the Settings window. I can reset my changes and restore my default settings at any time. I click on the Default Settings button. The parameter values in the window have been restored. I will disable automatic hiding of side panels and disable contextual hints. I click OK and approve the changes.